Morning. I decided on the fly at the very last minute to come to South Wales today because I thought that the weather might be better here than at home because I had been planning to go to Triscombe. As you can see, it's not any better. It is in fact very cold and very damp, but it has stopped raining for about 5 minutes. Not that that matters, because today I'm going to show you all the waterproofy stuff that I wear that has changed my life monumentally over the last couple of weeks after purchasing it. So we are here. We're not staying at the campsite. I'm staying over somewhere near Bracken because, for obvious reasons, why not staying at a campsite. We've gone into the shop over here just to have a little chat and a catch up. Been in the cafe, and now it's time to get dressed and show you what I'm actually going to be wearing on the trails. I think we did a bit of the Skyline Trail and then branch off to a couple of other sections from some of the other trails, which are running across the hillside on this side of the valley here. The original plan had to be to go to the mast today, but I think going to do that tomorrow instead. And as it's happened, and when we had a little chat in the shop, they're actually doing quite a bit of work there today, so it's probably good that we didn't turn up and try and ride the trails they're working on as well. Here are the bikes, clean for 5 minutes. It's just us because obviously nobody else wanted to really ride in this weather, and I can't blame them. Waterproof socks and waterproof gloves. These are from my military days and they work very well then, and they work exceptionally well now. First up, waterproof jacket. Obviously a staple, and this was designed by Pete to cover up what was originally on this jacket, so I heat pressed over it. So that's actually good. A little bit of advertising for my businesses. Basically with this, I don't wash it all the time because there's just no point. So I'll rinse it off or dry it off and then brush the mud off. And I do the same with the waterproof salopettes as well, because if you keep washing them all the time, you actually end up destroying the material. So it's better to rinse them, dry them, and then occasionally wash them. And then, good trick, is you wash them in normal detergent and then you spray the waterproofing on top. If you actually wash a really technical jacket, so maybe not the nuke proof one so much, but the waterproof salopettes I have from Madison, if you do that and you wash it in the Knickwhack stuff, what it can actually do is clog up the Gore-Tex on the inside, and then it doesn't allow it to breathe so much. Whereas if you wash it in normal detergent and then spray it with the Knickwhacks and let it dry, that works a lot better. Another tip you can do, if you're brave enough, is have a cooling iron or a cool down iron and just gently iron the outside of the jacket, not the inside, the outside, and that helps to seal it as well. So doing that a couple of times a year actually keeps your jacket and your trousers alive. But for purposes of this, you'll see my stuff is still a bit dirty, and that is because I've used it twice already this week. So as I was saying before, waterproof socks, the sealskin ones. And a little fact that I bet you didn't know about waterproof socks is you don't actually have to wear them at the time when your feet are getting wet. Gore-Tex does this really incredible thing, same with jackets and waterproof trousers. If it's Gore-Tex, if you put that on top of your clothes that are already wet, so socks or trousers or whatever, the Gore-Tex will actually pull the water out of your clothing as your body warms up and will dry you as well. So Gore-Tex is a lot cleverer than just having them on for your actual ride. But I'm going to wear these today, try and ram my feet into my shoes, so they'll look really, really wide in a minute, but it does work really well. The second thing I got is sealskin gloves as well. So these are the water resistant ones. They do a version of Gore-Tex gloves which are the same as the socks, but the trouble with them is they're so thick you don't have the dexterity in your fingers to actually be able to feel anything. So they're not my favourite for riding, but these ones are really good. So as you can see, I've now got my salopettes on. So they come up really high, which is great because that means that any splashing or anything, which you're going to get even through your actual jacket, doesn't reach very high. I've got a little gilet thing on as well because I get quite cold. But it goes all the way up the front, then all the way up the back. And then you've got this really handy pocket for your phone. It sort of goes around the side of your leg, but it actually stops it from falling in the front of your leg and being really annoying when you ride down the trail. So that's good. And they're pretty easy to get on and off. The only downside is being female is obviously I have to take everything off to go to the toilet, but you can't have everything. So, all dressed, waterproofs on. In this pocket here I keep my multi-tool and my snack, emergency snack in case I need it. The two side pockets of the jacket I don't really use that much because I find they get in the way, and also I find it really difficult to get anything in or out when I'm actually riding. I think that might be the jacket, and the pockets aren't very good compared to, I've also got an Enduro waterproof jacket, and that's a lot better with the zips on the pockets. So the last thing is eyewear. Obviously I'm going to wear a helmet, but that's the same helmet winter or summer, but the eyewear is quite important even in the winter, because now you're just going to get loads of stuff splashing in your eyes all the time. So I've got the lovely Melon glasses. These are the XS ones, so the small ones for small spaces, and they got the photochromic lens. See how it changes colour, which means you can have one pair of glasses for summer, winter, whatever. Although these particular lenses, they are on the bottom end of the scale, so the less highlight ones, more leaning towards low light. So in the summer I might want a more highlight, possibly. I mean, let's hope that it's really bright and sunny in the summer. It might not be, of course, but we can hope. Oh, we are going. The wind is pretty wild, and it's pretty chilly. It's 8 degrees, but it feels definitely colder than that, probably because of the wind chill. Water is very angry. A lot of water in the rivers, as you would expect. There's been a lot of rain recently. Well, here's the first bit of the climbing. I had to get through one of those like stupid gate things that isn't really a gate, that's just 2 bits of wood that they've made it really small. Which I don't understand why you'd have that at the start of the trail, because it's not like you're going to go flying into the bottom of the trail, is it? I get it when you're coming out of the bottom and there might be somebody there, but in this particular case that wouldn't happen. Anyway, that's my rant over, but I find it very hard to get through those, because if there's the slightest bit of hill for me, trying to get this e-bike up on its end, because bikes are so long these days, I really struggle to. It has now started raining and it is windy, so we are starting to effectively test the waterproofs. So I'll start at my head. Technically not a waterproof, but the Melon goggles are handling the fact that my face is warmer than the outside temperature really well. They're not fogging up and they're dealing with the light, so I can see absolutely fine. Don't feel like I'm straining or anything else. In fact, my eyes feel pretty comfortable. So this colour really suits me. Talking about the colour of the lenses, Jim had some different ones that were brownie colour, which were technically better for when you are in highlight, but they would still dim for the low light stuff. But anybody who's like dyslexic knows that when you're at school they often give you a little filter that put over the page, and different colours suit different people. So for example, if I look at red on a computer screen or on a page or something like that, I find it really, really hard to distinguish the text. New bit of trail, so we've come off the main bit and then deviated off to this, and then we're going to come back and do the rest of it, I think. But this is a brand new piece, presumably the bit that they did after they had all the forestry sort of stuff after the big storm last year. Come on, good boy. Colin loves snaking me. Come on then. Oh, rocks. Nice. So I still have the Maxxis tyres that came with the bike on. Alright. Yeah. Which, well, they're more summer tyres than anything else. Jim's got a mud tyre on, so it'll be interesting to see what grip he has, because this is mainly all rock. So this is a new section of red. But I actually pumped my rear tyre up a little bit more. Don't know whether that was a good idea or not, but it seems alright. And to be honest, boy's going to ride a little bit tentatively on a wet, rocky trail with an edge. it's windy. It's actually a really physical trail because there's not much gravity. So although there's bits of drops and stuff, it's actually you pumping or pedalling. So when we stopped last, we were both a little bit out of breath. Because also when we're having to pedal, we are over motor speed, so we're pushing that heavy bike as well. He's going to set me some climbing challenges because up until about a week ago I was shit at climbing, technical climbing. I was frightened of everything, didn't like it, couldn't get the balance right with the motor. He would end up like spinning me away, and if it was a wet load of rocks or something like that, I'd be like really stressed out. Anyway, I have been practicing, so it has improved a lot, but you can always get better, and it is still my weakness. And I think if I get more confident at riding up slippery rocks, I'm pretty sure my brain probably won't be able to tell the difference of riding down slippery rocks, so that will help with that too. Go on, Colin, come here then, stay. So up and over this rock, challenge completed. Colin, good. I did, but I had to wait because Colin was stood there. Next technical one, I'm pretty sure I did this last time. He just didn't see me, assumed that I couldn't do it. Oh, Colin. I did actually do that line last time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. This is new too, isn't it?
I don't know, is this new? Doesn't look that new.
Okay.
Does that mean it's a black run if it's got a black thing?
Oh, didn't he say it's split off?
I don't know.
I think he did say it split off. There you go, see, so you must have a red line, a black line, because you see that little sign over there. It's all red and, oh no, that's a walking person. Well, maybe if we just go down and see if we can see a split.
You've got a drop with a bike's length of running.
Yeah. Colin, no. Oh, God.
Okay.
Yep. Stay.
Right. Let us do it.
Stay, stay. Stay, stay, stay. Good boy. So, tiny little run in into a drop. Lovely. Just what we like. And it is actually a drop. It's not a roll. It is a drop, and also we were a bit confused. So you probably heard on that bit, if I keep that bit in, which I might not. I say we're not sure whether it's a red or a black because it's got both signs. And it's not very clear whether there's a black section or a red section. But also on top of that, it starts while rolling into a drop, which would suggest it's more black than red. But I don't know. And then this bit, this is more red. So, who knows? Oh, driver line. So I've just had to do up my headset. So I've got a nice aftermarket little top cap that Jim got me last Christmas with butterflies on. But turns out that they really are not compatible with any of the old Beta bikes. So I've got two. I had one on the rayon, which has now come off because it was all bent because I was trying to do it up tight enough to keep the headset tight, and I'm constantly having the headset come loose on this, so I'm going to probably have to go back to the original setup, and I think I might have it with me because there isn't much else I can do in terms of being able to keep my headset together. And as I start to ride more bumpy stuff and get more confident with the speed, it's not fun when you feel like your fork constantly coming away. So I've had my first wee on the trail. I had to get completely undressed. but I've also noticed, you can't see so well on here, but you see how my jacket is damp? It has stopped beading. So when I said before about nick wax, ironing your jacket after washing it, etc., now is the time for me to do that to this jacket, because it's all right for drizzle, but when it starts raining heavy, it doesn't bead anymore, it goes straight in, which means I will be damp underneath this jacket today. Colin's having a rest, doing a bit of whining and grumpiness because we stopped, but it will do him good. We are now in the bike shop because we're going to join in on the social ride that's happening at 2 o'clock, because they're going to do different trails to what we did earlier, so that will be quite good. Although it actually got better whilst we were out and it started raining and winding more, but never mind. That's the whole point of this, was to test the waterproofs, right? Warm, my feet are actually warm. Did get a bit cold whilst we were waiting, but not massively. And because it stopped raining, the bonus of having like a Gore-Tex jacket is that when it stops raining and it's a little bit windy, it dries pretty quickly, so you get going again from the start of having a dry jacket, so that's another bonus. Whereas when you've got a cheap jacket, once it gets saturated, it stays saturated, and then you get really, really cold. A totally different part that I've ever been in before. I would not, well, I didn't expect to not go up the same bit that we've been going up before. So totally different new bit of the hill for me. Absolutely tipping it down. But look, my legs are dry because the waterproofs are doing their job. And with a bit of luck, they might wash some of the mud off that was on there before. Nick vision. I just had a slight puncture. Not ideal, but seems to have sealed itself. Wow. It doesn't say anything on it. No. Yeah, it doesn't say anything this side, so I'm going to say it's that way. Because it'd be pretty random for you to fly down here and then...
Up everywhere, is it?
No, but it's not made for e-bikes. Whoa! So, like a lot of the stuff, these are original, obviously work gets done, but original trail centre things. So, if you go to something like Curly Brennan, for example, it really is still made for smaller wheels. So if you're going around on a great big long slack full 29 e-bike, you'll be alright because you've got the motor, but you'll be doing a lot of pedalling and adjustments in very tight bits that are much more suited for a smaller travel, smaller wheeled trail bike. This is a bit wet.
This is all part of like the trail centre, you know.
Yeah.
Like the centre waterproof.
Yeah, and that bit on the motor cover.
Yeah. And, I'm still fairly dry, you know.
I think, I can't tell, I might be a bit damp.
I will do.
Yeah, so stay on the road.
Thank you.
See you in a bit.
Bye. Hiya. It's quite hard to see. So we're on a trail called Peregrine's Ridge. There's two. There's one called The Rock, which Jim has done before. So we're doing Peregrine's Ridge because it's one he hasn't done. But I have a feeling The Rock is probably the steeper descent. And this is the easier one. Guessing by the amount of pedalling we're doing. And the lack of obstacles. Yep. So, a little update with the melon goggles. It's now 3 o'clock. So in the winter you're losing light and temperature really from kind of 2-ish. So we're obviously past that. In the trees, even though these ones are supposed to be photochromic, they obviously are not like wearing clear or low light, so they are still struggling. But I can just about see. I don't really want to take them off because it is stopping like rain and stuff that's flying up into my face from getting in my eyes, and the weather, you can probably see on the camera. In fact, you probably can't see anything because of the rain. It is very wet. I am going to get stuff in my eyes, and then that means I won't be able to see because I've got stuff in my eyes. Whoa. So yeah, it's one of those, I think. Rocky again, hope my tyre holds up. Whoa. I reckon.
Well done.
In not so long, if I keep improving the rate I am, I'll beat you on a trail like that. Because every time you got tired, it was right up at you.
Yeah, oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
being a bit lazy down there.
But I reckon if I went flat out and you went flat out, over a trail like that, I reckon if I didn't fuck up a corner, I could beat you.
Yeah.
The weather really came in. So a lot of us has decided to come down. Although it doesn't look as bad here, believe me, at the top, it is pretty bad. Anyway, so we are going to use the bike wash here. So I've got some coins. Jim's just going to go and work out how to actually use it because it doesn't look like you stick it in there. Well pleased with the last run because well, as you would have seen, I kept up pretty well with Jim and I actually put pressure on him. And I reckon in a few months' time, if I can hold that confidence and keep that fitness, I'll push him on really hard on trails like that or beat him. That is our ride over. verdict on the waterproofness, I actually stayed really, really dry. So I was a little bit damp, but to be in fairness to both my jacket and my trousers, I've worn them probably about 10 times now and have only sprayed them off with a hose pipe. I haven't actually cleaned them properly or sprayed them down or anything. So they are due, and I'll do that in the next couple of weeks. So I can't really complain. My feet stayed dry too. So although my shoes were absolutely sodden wet, the waterproof socks did their job, and my socks underneath were just ever so slightly damp. And I mean, you could put that down to sweating, so it's not even necessarily the socks letting anything in. So really pleased with that. Good few runs. It was very, very wet out, didn't stay wet underneath the clothes, so that's brilliant. So it got changed really, really quick and just put the same clothes back on, which was ace. Thank you very much for
So
this.
did you not get wet?
No.
Sounds familiar.
Anyway, thanks very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more cool stuff, and give me any ideas in the comments of what you would like to see me do in videos, etc, etc. See you at the next one.